All right, well, it's good to see everybody, especially you, Beau. But guys, this is AJ Cannon. Drove all the way from Norcross to be with us today.
Yes, I did, and a hell of a drive it was, I got to tell you. Well, you know,
It was.
I kept thinking it was Friday, and once I got on the interstate, I didn't have any indications that it wasn't because everybody was driving like it was. But I made it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't drive in Atlanta anymore.
I'm not supposed to really be in here, but I think they
No,
forgot.
it's not good for you.
We cleared it.
Well, no, literally speaking, I'm not supposed to be here.
Oh, really?
And it is on paper
It
somewhere.
was on the jurisdiction?
They actually have a restraining order, and this bartender doesn't know me.
Yeah, thank God.
So I might be able to get through about 30 minutes with you guys before somebody gets wise.
Well, it's good to be back at Bradley's. Bradley's always a good place to be, for Halloween.
Because
it's a great place to be for Halloween. And what's the beauty of it, kind of like your house.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Beau keeps his house decorated for Halloween year-round.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he does.
You put it up, and then sure enough, you go to take it down, you look at the calendar, and Halloween's right around the corner.
Just like it is again now. I've actually gotten inspiration for Halloween costumes from some of the bar hats here.
Really? Well, let's
Yeah.
hear. What do you got?
But
What do you
just
got
take a
for this?
look.
Well,
These people are not in costume.
Do you have a plan for this year? Do you know what you're going to be? Or
I think I'm going as Fat Tony.
That would be great.
that's going to
Pretty
be
good.
great. I'm going as Deep Roy from the remade Willy Wonka movie. That's what I'm
cool.
going to be doing.
Beau's a big fan of Willy Wonka's chocolate.
Yeah.
A lot of time on my knees. It'll be just like college.
Well, it's good to see you guys, man. It really is. Oh, shit. So we're doing this at Bradley's. We're just doing a little screwing around today. I know you're still doing your commentary every day. I noticed
Every day.
It's pinned up above the urinal in the men's room.
This
So
is
you're
where you
doing
do
pretty
that.
well for
This is
yourself.
where you come to read it.
It's nice to have
some
some-
guys have billboards, some guys have promos on TV. I'm hung above the urinal here at Bradley's.
I'm in there taking a piss, and I'm reading about Condoleezza Rice.
Well, and it's nice to have that to look at because it distracts you from the checkers standing next to you.
So yeah, you're still doing your commentaries though, and they're very
Yes.
well thought out.
Thank you.
And when I was putting together a show today, I went to the AJC, and immediately AJ said, "What are you doing?" Obviously, I'm not going to get any material there,
Right.
and I didn't. So it wasn't like anything else. But I will say this: I've enjoyed the hell out of this baseball series. I think TBS, while it's it's an interesting panel, with Oberman, Pedro, Sheffield, who you covered when he was here with the Braves,
I've heard of them.
and who's the other guy they got? Verducci.
Right.
I think they do a good job.
They do a pretty good job. All the games I'm seeing has got Ernie doing the pitch by pitch.
With Ripken and Darling.
Yeah, and pretty good, except that Ernie, he always sounds like when he's talking, he's lifting something heavy.
Probably Ron Darling.
I say, can you relax? Can you relax, Ernie? Just give it to me. Let it flow.
Yeah. But sometimes a guy has a goiter,
You don't know.
you don't know, and he probably doesn't even know, and that can have an effect on his broadcast.
He might have a goiter.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
don't know.
I got to be honest with you guys. Since what happened to the Braves, I have not had the heart to turn on a baseball game.
Really?
I have not.
Well, I mean, I think Beau and I know for myself, they were never going to make it.
Yeah.
And you look at LA and St. Louis play, they're not as good as they.
No, they're
just
not. No, and coming into the series, I really knew that in my heart of hearts. But you know how it is when you're a hometown fan. You have that hope that maybe they can just kind of catch lightning in a bottle and post it. But they didn't have the pieces.
Yeah, but that's what this team was all about. That's how this team got that far. What did you guys think about leaving Ugla out of the lineup?
Beau, I read you will not get off of this deal, off your soapbox as far as
Not
putting.
soapbox. I'm just asking. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, urinal, not soapbox.
It's a manager's decision. But what did you think of it?
I know the numbers. He was 11 for his last 131 with one extra base hit. I don't know how you put that in the line.
I don't, and
Well, it was in the lineup all year. What I'm saying is, we're not going to hit the baseball anyway. It's not what type of team we are. The only thing we have was that lightning in the bottle, and that one swing. It might have been the 12th hit that he got in the last 130 at bats.
Sure.
All I know is that's the way we were constructed. That's how we got this far. We had this discussion in April. And it seemed to pan out that this all or nothing thing at least worked in the regular season.
I see what you're talking about. I agree with Hans with this. I think it was a bold move. I mean, I actually respected him for making that move.
I think
to be
it
honest
took a
with you.
lot. I think it took something out of the team. Because he is a leader. He is very popular in the clubhouse.
Well,
And
you know what?
I think it took everybody by surprise. Obviously,
This does not sound like Bock talking now. You're saying the guy was a leader in the clubhouse. I want a guy who's going to go out there and lead with a stick. I want a guy who's going to show me what he's got at the plate, you know? And he wasn't doing that, so I was perfectly happy with
You
him
know,
being left out
you
alone.
talk about that. That's what this team is mentioning. And Chipper wasn't that guy. But what I'm saying is,
Hit me.
he's an asshole.
No, Chipper, no.
No, but here, but you see Boston.
Hey,
Look at
let's have- you know what,
Ortiz.
Can
Okay.
we have a Chipper celebration here? We haven't had one in 15
Oh,
minutes.
we're doing shots?
We're gonna do shots for
Well,
Chipper.
you know what you should do? You should do like Chipper. You should announce your retirement a year in advance, and you should go to every bar in Atlanta and have everybody kiss your ass.
I would love to. I can't afford to retire.
He's done it 3 times.
Yeah.
He just keeps coming back.
keeps
They
coming
don't
back.
believe it anymore.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
look at Boston. That's what they're missing is that veteran stick. I mean, you look at Cardinals with Holiday. You know, I mean, it's just one freaking Beltran. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
The Braves
the
just
great
don't
Bulldogs,
have
yeah.
those guys.
Can you imagine getting rid of Pujols or leaving? You know, and these guys don't miss a beat.
Yeah. Do you know who they got for Pujols? For a compensatory
Compensatory pick?
Yeah, Waka.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
who they ended up getting.
Right.
I mean, you know, they deserve to be there. Shit, they lost half their starting rotation this year. They just plug in another guy.
Yeah.
They're up 3-2. LA gets the win last night, 6-4. They load the bases there in the end, make it scary.
Right.
But the gate's going back to St. Louis now, and Mattingly's got the lineup, the pitching way he wants. He's going to have Kershaw, and then the other guy for 6 and 7 if it gets there. But Waka and Wainwright at home, you got to like the Cardinals.
What do we think about pitching in the postseason? I mean, with this postseason as an example, I mean, do you have to have those 2 horses? Is that the way it has to be? Do you think? And, you know, sometimes
Yeah.
you get these old
Yeah.
baseball saws that says this is the way it has to be, and you can't do it. And then evidently you can do
Yeah,
it.
it can be done. It's proven over and over again.
But you know, and obviously looking toward the Braves because we don't have one of those.
Right,
yet.
right.
I think you're hopeful that Tehran can be that guy.
You know, and you know they're talking about Delgado.
You talk about Delgado with Arizona that we traded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but they traded him. He was the guy that I.
But he's not a strikeout guy. He's not a power guy.
Yeah, I thought
He's
he
a
could
pitch
have
to
been. I thought
contact.
he could have been.
He's a pitch to contact guy, and he had a good year for Arizona.
Yeah.
But you know, it's going to be interesting this offseason to see what they do. I think Tim Hudson is going to be the most interesting thing because he's a free agent.
Right.
But they need that veteran. They need somebody that
I
can
guess
you know,
so,
be
but-
the staff.
I mean, what are you going to get out of him? I mean, is he the kind of guy you're going to trust?
Well, you know, you can't go multi-year on a situation.
Oh no! I think it'd be a one-year deal.
You know,
Yeah.
one
You know,
year,
he's
I
got
Absolutely.
charitable foundations, Bo. You of all
mean,
people
I'm
should
so
understand
sick,
that.
I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of
Charity stuff
that.
like
You know,
that.
Guys putting everything forward. Just pitch, man, pitch. This is what would be. You know, you can't see a shot of him without his wife. Stop.
Right. But what does he think he is, a politician?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
for God's sake, come on.
Bo, you seen any good movies
I
lately?
mean,
I
you
know you're a
can't
big
show up
movie
once
guy.
in a while with Sarah Palin.
Right.
You know what I saw?
What'd you see?
I saw Gravity.
I saw Gravity.
Is it good?
You know what I got to
I
say
don't like
about
her.
Gravity? You know what I got to say about Gravity?
Oh, here it goes.
Not sorry I saw it, but if you didn't see it, you're not missing anything.
Wait a
The
minute.
Yeah,
two of
that's
them
what I'm
floating
saying.
around space.
Yeah, floating around space. That, you know, who needs that?
There was not just floating around space. There was all kinds of scientific issues I had with the movie. There was a lot of
Like
stuff.
it wasn't possible?
Well, no, there was a lot of stuff scientifically with the movie that I had to suspend belief in order to watch the movie. For instance, you know, most satellites.
Well, you went to space camp.
I went to
times.
space. Well, just the once.
Right.
Well, just the once legally. The other times I kind of ducked in. But you know, they're busy. They can't catch you all the time. You get another nice weekend, and you sleep in those tubes, and that's not
You
bad.
love that. You love that.
But there were some things about the movie, like, you know, most space debris and satellites travel from west to east, and they had the debris coming out of east to west.
Which is impossible,
and I
as
was,
you know.
And I was going, huh? You know, there was that. Oh, and by the way, spoiler alert, George Clooney gets hung up on a rope out in the middle of space, and so apparently centrifugal force is pulling him away from the spacecraft in zero gravity. And I'm trying to figure out how in the hell that is supposed to
You know,
work.
because there are elements going on up there that you have no idea what's going on.
I figured
There
that.
are things going on up there, AJ.
Well, Sandra Bullock has aged gracefully for the most part, but she is a little wider in the hips. I didn't know if there was some extra gravity that's
How
involved
do you
with
tell
that.
through the spacesuit?
Maybe that ass has a
Are
heart and a
these-
lung of
are
its
these-
own at this point.
Are these provocative spacesuits that she's wearing?
It was for her, and I don't know what kind of hair jelly she's using. I don't know what kind of hair jelly she's using, but I need to jump on it. Maybe olive oil, because she was rolling around in space and there's shit floating everywhere and her hair's plastered down like she's Moe from the Three Stooges.
She probably hadn't had a
There's
shower in
product.
weeks.
She had product going on.
Yeah, Paul
Space
Mitchell.
product.
Are you a fan of hers?
Not really.
I don't like her.
Not really.
I don't like her.
Not really.
I think she's sexy.
Well, I mean, she's a
You know
good-looking
what?
woman, but her personality gets in the way.
I just.
You think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them do that.
I can't figure her out. Well, she went to East Carolina, so being
That's right.
So
She's
being
from-
a North Carolina guy.
Yeah, she's from Virginia, I think. I saw
I think
Rush.
so. North
Rush is
Virginia.
very good.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anything that you'd like to critique from that, Mr. Wizard? Is there anything that wasn't possible?
Oh, who am I, Gene Shalit all of a sudden? I thought it was a great movie. 5 stars.
Rush was good. See, I didn't know it was a true story. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about the Formula One racing.
Yeah,
I haven't
didn't
seen
see it.
I haven't
it's a
seen
great
Rush. I'm
movie.
looking forward to seeing
Dude,
Rush.
it's a great movie.
It's a Ron Howard movie. It's automatic. You should have let him make the space movie. He showed he
Is
can
this
do it.
about Dario Franchitti?
He would have had the freaking satellites going the right
Is
way.
this about Dario Franchitti and his girlfriend?
Franchitti? Oh, the one that we can't talk about. What's her name? Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd.
Yeah. We once did. You remember?
Was it based on that?
It
No,
wasn't
no,
him.
no, this is
no,
the
no, no,
70s.
no.
This is
Yeah, back
the
in the- yeah,
Playboy,
back in
the
the-
blonde guy, Great Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah, same guy who played Thor.
We'll get to
Right,
that,
there's
now,
a
but it's a
crappy
very
movie.
good movie. You should go see it. You're going to Athens tonight.
I'm heading to Athens tonight. I'm going to watch a little. My friend here's going with me. He's afraid. He's really camera shy. Get over here, will you?
Our friends in Sri Lanka.
What's he got? Hey, how you? Beau Bock.
How you doing, Gertie Spivey? How y'all doing?
Hey, Gardis, how are you?
He said his name was Gervy.
Gertie. That's
No, you don't have to talk right in there.
it's G. You know what? We usually, when I'm sitting around something like this, I'm usually saying something like, Mr. Senator, my counsel has advised me not to answer that question. Anyway, it's good to be with you.
Oh, give him a pat on
Now,
the-
did you
good to be with you, boy.
did you attend the University of Georgia, or you just frequent their ball games?
What?
Did you go to school at the University of Georgia, or you just a football fan?
No, I did not go to school at the University of Georgia over there. I went over to West Georgia.
West Georgia.
Oh, did you?
I went to school in Carrollton.
Carrollton.
That's
yeah.
a fine town.
It's a like a town over there. Well, you know what? You can't get no liquor.
Well, that's why you pick mushrooms.
So we picked them shits up right out of the pastures and stuff, and we go to Alabama when we want to get some booze. And then what we do most of the time is we just get a whole big bottle of Robitussin,
Oh, that works for
That'll
everything.
work.
and yet we called it Roboing.
Roboing. Yeah.
And you just drink it down and make sure you're sitting down because she'll kick your ass.
But you don't cough.
You know what? You feel great the next day.
I bet you do.
You ain't got no hangover or sinus problems, and your skin looks good.
Really?
Yeah.
And your liver thanks you.
And my liver, well, I got a liver the size of a postage stamp to begin with. But that's why I'm being a little careful. You guys doing shots? I heard.
Yeah, we're going to do shots.
I heard AJ say somebody you guys are going to do some shots.
Yeah, we're going to do something. Don't worry about it.
All right, then. Well, it's good. What y'all talking about today?
We're talking about sex in America.
Oh, good. Well, that's my strong suit.
Re- Really?
Yes, it is. So y'all go on, and I'll correct you when you need it.
Hey, you been dating anybody lately?
I have not been dating lately. I've just had so much on my plate.
Well,
Or as some people say, my partial plate, because of my recent dental surgery. I've just had so much going on. I have not had a chance to go out and court the fairer sex.
I figured you'd have to beat them off with a stick.
Well, I do have to beat them off to a stick because some of them are subhuman. But no, I'm a kind of guy. You know what I am? I'm real sensitive.
really? You're a
And-
sensitive guy?
I'm sensitive and strong, and women are attracted to my animal magnetism.
No kidding.
They certainly are. So
I can see that.
they are, and I know a bunch of sex tricks.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
What do you like, such as?
I like
anything
to
you can
use.
tell us here?
Well, I like to use sex toys
Sex toy.
because there's nothing wrong with using a sex
toy.
toy to liven up your relationship. I like to use things with a crank start. That you have to get the gas and oil mixture right on, and usually that in a case of 40 weight, and you can do anything you want to them.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I have a hard time believing you can't keep a woman.
I didn't say I couldn't keep them.
Yeah, you just can't find one.
I said I'm just too busy to go looking for one.
Well, you're in
Now,
the wrong place.
I am. Well, he said I'm in the wrong place. I'm gonna piss my pants. And you ride as you can be. You're just ride as rain. So I can tell you know what time it is.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel good. You know what? I'll be your wingman tonight.
You want to do it? Go up to Athens?
We're going to Athens with AJ, and I'll be your wingman because I'm good at that.
I bet you are.
Yeah, I am. Because a lot of times I don't know what it is about what I do, but a lot of times they will talk to me for not even 5-10 seconds and will run to the other guy.
Really?
Yes.
No matter who you're with.
No matter who it is, it's a skill.
It is a skill.
That sounds like a good opportunity for you.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm good to see you. The extra weight looks good on you.
Oh, really?
It does.
Thank you.
And you've been
Thank
working,
you.
and you still getting fired by every decent station in town.
Everybody,
Okay, I'm just checking. 'Cause we pray for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah. That's
At
right.
the Church of the Evangelical Spirit.
We do. You know what? I had to stop going to that church. You know why?
Why?
Found out I'm allergic to snake bites.
Really?
Yes. So I had to stop going. But anyway, it's good to see y'all.
It's good to see you.
I'm gonna go back over here and eat my
Send
sandwich.
AJ back.
Okay.
Good seeing you.
Do y'all want a sandwich?
No, thank you. It's AJ's friend.
Oh, and he went to West Georgia?
He went to West Georgia.
I got a buddy that went to West Georgia.
Carrollton.
Carrollton.
AJ, how are you? Who was that guy?
That's Gertie. Remember that guy that used to hang around the station?
I think we picked mushrooms in Carrollton one time together.
Yeah, you probably did.
I thought he looked familiar.
This dude's a freak.
He found so hurt, they're dusting off the white running back.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
Right.
That just lets you know how bad shit is.
So,
Hey, look.
when I see this kid, you're not expecting much. You're expecting a guy to be like running in mud, right?
Yeah.
This kid's tough.
runs hard.
He's
He
quick.
runs hard.
Hey, but he's
Look,
right.
got
When
some
you're
moves.
dusting off the cracker, you do got a problem.
Yeah.
But the kid, I tell you what, he is deceptively fast. Or quick. I wouldn't say he's
Yeah,
fast.
yeah,
but
yeah.
He's quick.
No, right, exactly.
There was a play in that game against Missouri when they started coming back. It was like 28-20. It was a
Yeah.
one-possession game, and they needed a first down. And they threw him a little slip screen, and the guy had him beat. He was in
Right. No, I
position.
saw-
He
yeah.
lowered his shoulder
Yeah.
and got those extra 3 yards. He's
Yeah.
got some toughness in him.
He
Look,
does.
Murray threw the ball away at the end of the game. He was trying to make a play. I'm not going to put it
No,
on him.
definitely.
But your boy Grantham, I mean, I hate to give you credit where credit's due, but you've been calling this shit for 3 years.
Yeah.
And
It's just terrible.
he doesn't seem to have a clue.
Just terrible.
Boys, we got similar problems with the Falcons. I have similar problems with Mike Nolan.
Well, you know what, Mike Nolan changed a little bit. AJ, I saw it up close. He's always been a good strategist. He's never been a motivational guy, which is what we sorely need in Flowery Branch. We need a guy to get him going. We don't have anybody. It's the quietest practices since Marion Campbell's practices in 1988, 89, 90.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he?
I think so. Mike Nolan is just, for instance, first day we're working out, he's over on the bleachers talking to us, wow. And then he comes out, and then I see him like walking around out there another day. Smitty comes over from the offensive field to the defensive field. All of a sudden he gets up and starts coaching. It's just, now it's just all about, he can't come up with a new design. If his stuff doesn't work, he's kind of stymied.
They made some good
It's
adjustments.
not quite as bad as Grantham.
We're not quite as bad,
But it's also not as good as I think just about everybody thinks it is.
I just see similarities in the two, especially late in football games.
Right.
And
We're always reverting to a soft zone third and long.
Well, the problem I have with Nolan is the problem I have with Cutter as well. Is that we've had a hell of a lot of injuries this year, and I say we because I'm a Falcons fan.
Right.
All right, I'm not an analyst. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And
Well, you have a
there's-
Georgia license?
what's that?
You have a Georgia license?
I don't have a
Then
license
it's
right
we.
now. Okay.
It's we.
Okay.
Georgia's you, Texas you, Falcons are you. If you're talking to somebody, it's we.
Okay, you
Because
hear that?
got a Georgia license.
So when I have a legal license again, it's going to be we. Anyway, at late in games, I mean, obviously the injuries have been there this year. It's been a freakish series of injuries.
For Georgia, too.
For Georgia, too. And with the Falcons, I'm just seeing a coaching staff that's not making the best of the talent that's available.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed that, especially defensively. Because look at the Jets game. I went to that Monday night game, and I was freaking out. Because
it was a weird crowd. It was just weird. It's like going to an NFL game, especially a Monday night game, is like going to a rap concert.
Yeah.
It is not going. I mean, you're just standing there looking around at everybody.
That is true. I saw R. Kelly piss on somebody.
Really?
Yeah. So it is a lot like a rap show.
That was probably the best part of the night. But no, you were saying you were at the game, and you could.
Yeah. And I'm watching the game, and I'm saying to myself, nobody's getting to this kid. They're making this kid look like he's been in the league 6 years. And then look, and you have to look at his numbers up until that game. Not great, not far from it.
No.
And then he's standing back there with 25 seconds to throw the football, and I'm going, how about we stop worrying about getting beat over the top, and just go after this guy and at least knock him off his skids a couple of times, and take him out of his rhythm.
How about trusting you guys to play a little man? You know what I mean? Instead of dropping into the zone, when you drop into that zone, you concede the first down. That's what it does. If you play man and you come after them with extra people, if you rush 5, rush 6, then you got to play man. Come after them, make them move, make them have to do something.
And on the last drive where they're trying to get down the field for the winning field goal, all day long they haven't been able to get a rush on Geno with 4 guys. Now they're going to go to 3 and play a soft zone and give him like 8 seconds to play.
Yeah. Here's the thing I noticed.
I just was freaking.
It was downset, hut, and literally the Jets, who have a good defense.
They do have a very good defense.
What's the kid from Missouri?
They came
Richardson.
into the Monday night game, second in the league in total defense?
That guy Richardson, Sheldon Richardson, is a freaking animal. But it was downset hut, and literally they were 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a joke. I mean, they can't block anybody.
Right.
See, and the other thing is that, Pat Hill, who's our offensive line coach, I thought he was going to be pretty good because he always looked like he was an up-and-at-him guy when he was on the sideline with San Diego State. He was the head coach for years.
Fresno State?
At Fresno State. So when he came in here, I said, at least we got hooping now. Your offensive line coach has got to be one of those guys who gets
One of these guys?
One of those guys.
Okay.
Boom. Who gets it going.
Your friend knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, and if he was...
No, don't call him back.
No, I'm not.
Don't even do that because you might get him going.
No, I don't want that.
So
he's drinking. Now he's drinking.
Pat Hill knows, I thought was a guy who motivated.
No, I mean, I don't give a shit if you're New Rockney. I mean, if you're working with what you're working with, I mean, there's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced these guys can't play. I don't think Garrett Reynolds can play. I don't think Holmes can play.
No, listen. In fact, I was just talking to an NFL coach the other day. I was talking to Glenn, and he said, the one thing about the offensive line, it doesn't take talent to step in front of a blitzer. It doesn't take talent to hustle. It doesn't take talent to at least get in the way. You know what I mean? It takes desire. It takes attitude. It takes desire. It takes the head coach demanding you to do that.
Right.
We don't demand anything. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make corrections. I'm so tired of hearing Smitty say we're going to make corrections, and we got to focus better.
You know what's a tell-all of the whole season? You saw week 1 when they were playing New Orleans, and Rob Ryan was bringing the house.
Yes, he was.
And Ryan was on his ass the whole game.
Yeah.
And you never once saw a Falcon pick him up.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't see it. If somebody hit Tom Brady, there would be a freaking melee.
So let me ask you this. They always talk about these corrections. I'm not seeing these corrections in football games, except for in the third quarter of the Jets game, you saw him bring the heat. Right. So that made me and they got to Geno. So it makes me wonder why in the hell we weren't seeing that in the fourth quarter. But they always talk about these corrections, but we don't seem to see those corrections during the course of games. Right. We don't see halftime corrections.
Yeah.
Right. You know?
Yeah, the Steven Jackson signing, for what you got him for, I thought it was a good idea. One of my family's from St. Louis. A friend of mine, cousin, is a diehard Rams fan. He said, dude, when he's on the field, you'll love it. He said, but he's never going to be on the field. Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
He said he is always got a groin, he's got a quad, he's got a hamstring, he's got something. He said, why do you think St. Louis? St. Louis didn't even have a running back.
Right.
Because, they're starting Zach Stacy from Vanderbilt.
Right.
I mean, what the hell does that tell you?
Right.
I mean, seriously. And the Falcons fans, I'm listening to our flagship on the way over say, well, when Steven Jackson comes back, no, he's not going to make a difference.
No.
There's no holes to run right now.
No, guys, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
The attitude.
Smitty's over. No, Smitty is over. It's over. It's done.
Well,
now we're just playing out the string.
Now, I'll beg to differ because the stuff I've been reading on the Falcons website and on the Falcons app.
That's objective.
Yeah.
You got an app?
Hey, yeah.
Do you?
I got the Falcons app. You know what got me the other day? Roddy White on another radio station. And this, you go on and you spout the company line, but sometimes you can just be goofy.
Right.
Went on the air, he talked about being 1-4. He says, obviously we don't want to be 1-4, but there's 11 games to play, and if we go 11-0, we'll be where we need to be. He makes Congress look like geniuses when he says crap like that.
Well, you look at the schedule. I mean, we got Seattle, we got San Francisco, we got Washington.
Yeah, I just watched Tampa play this last week. And say what you want to say about Shiano. He's gotten rid of everybody that basically he doesn't want on that football team. And the guys he does have on that football team, they're going to play for him.
Oh, yeah.
So the Falcons, and that's always a tough game. Always. You think you're just going to go down there and everything, that schedule's going to immediately roll over to 2-4? You're out of your mind.
No, guys, what I was looking at, I was really looking at Tampa being a really huge struggle this week because they're a physical football team.
Every team's a struggle right now.
And then because of everything that's come down, and it's an absolute must-win. We've got a bye week. We're coming together. Everybody's got new goals, rejuvenated, and all that stuff. That maybe we'll get them. But this is going to be a Donnybrook.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Donnybrook. Does your offensive line all of a sudden become cohesive and more effective? Do all of a sudden you have dialed up a pass rush? No.
Yeah.
That comes from experience. That comes from repetition. It comes from doing it in the game and then doing it a week and 2 weeks after
Think
that.
about this. Also, if you're Tampa, you finally got Freeman out of there. The distraction that was. He's gone. Glennon's the guy. And you basically, if you're Shiano, you say, look, Falcons, you have a chance to officially end their season.
Oh, sure.
You got a chance to officially put the final nail in the coffin.
And you know how the hatred is there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really worried about this weekend. Well, of course, like we were saying, any game is a struggle right now for the Falcons.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Speaking of Freeman, here's a guy to me who's got all the ability in the world.
I've always liked the guy.
I just think that he and Shiano were so opposite that it was just never going to work.
It must be.
I never thought.
I always thought he was going to be a big time.
I never did.
Oh, so first of all, he stands in the pocket like Roethlisberger. You're draped on him. You can't get him on the ground. Second of all, he's got great arm.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now he's got Adrian Peterson.
Now he's got Adrian Peterson. That has to be the whole deal.
George Peterson.
This is Detective
Rooney,
George Peterson.
you're an asshole. Yeah.
You know that guy was a child molester.
You're talking about Rooney?
Ed Rooney.
Oh, really? You talking about the actor?
Yeah.
Really?
Ed
He
Rooney,
looks
that
like a child molester.
Doesn't he, though? That creepy bastard. You sounded like Dirty Harry there, Ed.
Oh, you did.
No, what's his name?
Jeff.
Jeffries, something. John Jeffries or whatever.
Hell, I forget.
Yeah, but anyway, he was taking pictures of naked boys. He got caught.
Really?
Yeah, Ed
my
Rooney. So every time I
God.
watch that movie, I think about that creepy bastard.
So some guy has him by the shoulders now going, George Peterson.
That's right.
Rooney, did I hear you say you wanted me to produce a body?
Roll the old bones on down there. So what about Irsay? You think Irsay's a little bit stirring the pot?
I think there's a little too much time at Bradley's. First.
That'll do it.
Is there such a thing as too much time at Bradley?
I think so.
Well, you see this guy.
You can get over.
Yeah, look at that guy over there.
You can get over, sir.
And the puffy shirt episode of Seinfeld going on.
I mean, what a stupid
I
thing
agree
to
to
say.
wear that? Oh, I don't think so. No, but I mean, I don't understand why you would honor a guy. I don't give a damn if he saved the city from a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, but
He's your competition.
Yeah, but Hans, he's not. Irsay doesn't have it totally together.
This is something the Braves would do.
This is something exactly. And the other thing is, if I'm Peyton Manning, I don't want this distraction. I don't want going in there. I'm thinking, you know how tuned in and turned on he is. You know how about his pregame is all about repetition, doing the same thing over and over. The last thing he wants us to do.
I've
He
never
didn't know
heard of
how to
anything.
get out of it. He didn't know how to. You know what? He put him behind a rock and a hard place because if you're Peyton Manning, you can't say never mind. You can't insult.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, well, that's Stiglitz over here. Do you guys want to meet Stiglitz?
Yeah, Stig.
Okay, let me tell you about Hugo Stiglitz. Come on around here and this guy
I
here.
like your clothes. Not the ones you're wearing, but the ones you designed.
Also an Outer Banks guy. Let me tell you this one thing you need to know about Hugo Stiglitz. We call him that because he kills more Nazis before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
No kidding.
Yeah, just like in the Tarantino movie.
Right.
I gotta get out of here.
So we go.
Yes. Go ahead, have a seat.
All right.
Actually, he's a German man. So it's
Yes.
yeah. So it's he's like Stiglitz from the
He's
movie.
a Teutonic.
Yes, he is, and he was ready to go pro.
Yeah.
So that's why he's here with us. We were talking about Peyton Manning just now. Let me ask you this: Do you lay that whole postseason thing on Peyton Manning like a lot of people do about him choking in the
Oh
postseason?
no, gosh no. That's sports talk radio nonsense. It's
But that's
no.
but we're known for
No, but that's no.
talk radio
You
nonsense.
know,
The
it's
thing with
like,
Peyton Manning, he's Dan Marino with one ring. He is all regular season numbers and no playoff wins.
well, you know what? Look at Matt Ryan. You think Matt Ryan's one playoff
Matt
type
Ryan's-
of player? Matt Ryan can do anything in the game.
Matt Ryan's played 5 years. Peyton Manning's played 12 or 13.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We're just saying. People criticize Matt Ryan for only having one playoff win, but Matt Ryan can't. He's one guy. I mean, quarterback is still one position. Everybody said, well, he's got 2 rings. He's got this year. He did that. He did it in concert with everybody else that's blocking for him. How come Matt Ryan? We're talking about earlier in the show about protecting Matt Ryan. If you don't protect him, I don't care who the quarterback
Well,
is. Brady gets protection. Brady didn't get protection. You think he'd be Brady?
Well, Peyton Manning wouldn't have even won that one ring if it weren't for Tony Dungy's defense and Bob Sanders staying healthy for the only season he ever did.
Well, wait a minute though. But that's now you're kind of playing into his argument that he had some pieces around him. It's not just Peyton. It's just what he has. For instance, you look at Dan Marino. A lot of people label Dan Marino with that same kind of crap.
I know.
And it's the same situation. Dan Marino never did anything in a playoff game that really cost his team a game.
I did through a couple picks in that Super Bowl against Montana.
So let me ask
Yeah.
you this. So you got a chance to pick up Peyton Manning for your team, you turn him down because he's only won one Super Bowl?
Well, considering that neck injury, if I go back to that time, then yes.
Forget that. Forget no injuries. I'm talking about Peyton Manning. You wouldn't take him.
You're talking about right now.
I'm talking about, forget his neck. I'm talking about Peyton Manning and his stats and everything. You wouldn't take him?
He's great for the stats. He'll bring in a lot of fans. He's good for revenue, but not if you want to win a championship.
Oh,
Neither
that's
did
great.
And
He's got everything.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when you talk about RG3, you talk about Kaepernick, you talk about Russell Wilson, who's in a different category because he's not really a read option guy. He's more of a Tarkenton type of scrambler. But you look at him and you look at Cam, and that's why everybody look at Mike Vick. These guys all get banged up, and I didn't believe that. I always poo-poo that and say, well, that's just the way it's come down. You don't ever go into a season or into a game thinking we're going to get it. Look at the Falcons, no injuries. All we got is injuries. That was our training
Right.
camp. That was
Exactly.
our training camp
mantra.
rallying cry.
Yeah, our mantra in training camp.
Well, the upside is,
But
hey,
the other thing is, if Cam doesn't get hurt, if Kaepernick doesn't get hurt, then the sky's the limit for these guys.
Yeah.
well, the difference here is A, Cam has stayed healthy his entire career, albeit short, and B, he clearly does not have any issues of character as the team actually voted him team captain for the first time this season.
You talking about Cam?
Cam Newton?
Yeah.
He's actually a very funny dude. We did an interview with him. He and his dad came in and interviewed him for about 2 hours. And he's got a little bit of personality to him. Kind of a funny guy. So one of the producers came in the room, and my real name is Herbert. And so the producer goes, "Hey, Herbie," and he goes, "I thought you said your name was Hans." I said, "It's a long story. My name was Herbert,
Yeah.
but after a couple of years, my parents were like, hell no, we can't call him Herbert. We'll change his name to Hans."
Yeah.
He looks at me. He goes, "For real?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Like a stray dog." I thought that was funny.
That's
as hell.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I vote for him too, even though
Well,
he
you
plays
know
for
what?
Carolina.
I think it's time. I'm looking at the clock on the wall and say Oscar De La Renta.
You think it's time?
I think so.
It's time to get tore up.
See you, everybody.
Yeah.
Adios.